That's amazing. It's like, would you say it was your soul self, or your, I don't like to say higher self, but yourself without ego or personality,
I think that
you know?
I think you're right, because the personality is the I and the mine and you and I, and creates only separations,
Right.
and we are never realizing that we are really cells in one body, and we are we are we are the ones. We are one. We are
Right.
one.
Right, right.
But that took a long time for me to get to.
I wonder, because I believe that we attract every situation, every circumstance into our life, either to evolve us somehow, or for me to see who I am, or to, a reflection of myself somehow. In this circumstance, what were you? Was it to evolve you somehow? Was it for you to see yourself? Was it for you to know that you can survive, that you're not as vulnerable as women are supposed? I mean, what was your?
Well,
What did you learn
to
from
begin
that?
with, they had the awful smell. And I'm very sensitive to smell.
Yeah, me too.
And I said, God, the smell of them is the worst part.
Yeah.
And I was much more cautious when I walked around there, even though there was no trail or anything.
Right.
But I followed streams, and little by little, sometimes I came up to trails where they were doing their, where they carried their goods to the people below, to the villages, and I heard them. But I had the trepidation about meeting people, meeting anybody, any native particularly, because that's the only natives up there in the highlands. So I was careful about that, but I had no fear of living in the jungle. In
That's
fact, you
amazing.
didn't see many animals. You see monkeys, and you heard, maybe a jaguar or a lion or whatever it is. But I was never really afraid of them. I was afraid of people.
Interesting.
And I also felt like I wanted to go back, and I did. But just as after that thing happened, I floated down the river and went back to the tobacco plantation where I had met some Dutch people. But it was a moment there. I could leave and go back. But then something said, is that the best you can do? Didn't you come here to learn? Maybe me talking to me.
Right.
But
See, that you've had that. We opened our conversation with that, with learning. That it's not about chronological age. It's not about, you're just beginning to learn. And see, you've had that thought inside of you
I have
forever.
always, but I've
Learning.
done something else that has helped me. Whatever anybody says or any teacher says, I turn it 180 degrees.
Give me an example.
Like, for example, God did not create man in his own image. Man created God in his own image. The food does not, the food does not do it to man. It is the man who do it to the food. What you take in as food, the body begins to work on it, and when it works on it, you are not going to get the body to tell you what you're going to get from it. It is the body, when it releases its hormones and enzymes and circulatory system and gastrointestinal system, when all of that happens, that fluid, and that is what is flowing through it. But it is like taking a car, right? The car is given oil and gas, right? But it is a car that is the whole thing, right?
Right.
So then from that I learned that it is the environment that creates who we are. Why are there so many species in this world? Why are there from bacteria to sponges, what to ants, to what is it? Because there is an environment for them to live in. There is an environment for all animals to live in, but their bodies will be created in harmony with the environment that they live in. And the environment of the body to what we eat, for example, and what we think and what we feel is the environment. The body is the environment.
Right.